if you did check your bags, if you want to board the aircraft at this time, there's a reward for checking your bag, so we can get them on board. Yep.
We're on our way to Chicago.
If you did check your bag here with us, we have the white tag. We do need you to leave it on the bottom of the zipper.
Alright, finally. We're on our way to Chicago. I'm filming a CHIVLOGO, Hotel CHIVLOGO. So Monday morning, we got up bright and early to catch our flight from Boston Logan Airport to O'Hare in Chicago. It was about a 2-hour flight, and we were taking this trip because I'm interested in applying to and possibly attending several colleges in Chicago. I want to major in either theater or comedic arts, which is a major offered by about 3 schools in the country. So we're going to tour several of those schools during this trip. We flew in around noon, so we explored this rainbow tunnel in the airport a bit, and then we Ubered to our hotel, and we were there early enough to which our room hadn't opened yet, so we decided to kill some time by going off to Navy Pier. We walked from our hotel to Navy Pier, and we mostly just explored a little bit. We found a nice place to get lunch, and so we ate some food, killed some time, and explored Navy Pier. A lot of people had recommended Navy Pier to us when we'd said that we were going to Chicago. It was definitely a really fun place to see. I didn't film the attraction itself, but we did this really cool flying tour of the city. And then after that, we kind of just explored the rest of the city a little bit while we headed back to the hotel. We decided we wanted a sweet treat before heading back into the hotel for the night, so we went to JoJo's Shake Bar. I got the mint chocolate shake, and I know this looks delicious, but it was way too sweet. I could barely make a dent in it before feeling a little bit sick. So instead, I just sat and sang a little bit of Britney Spears.
Send me a picture so I can say in case they send me this.
Oh my gosh. Alright. I'm whispering in the hotel bathroom because everybody else is asleep right now. It is currently 5:30 Chicago time, 6:30 my time. But me and my entire family are all super tired from all the travel and activities and stuff today. So this is probably all we're gonna do today. Super fun first day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow we are touring University of Rochester now. Tomorrow we are touring University of Chicago, I believe. And then we'll see what we do afterwards. I'm gonna go and get some sleep and watch some webtoon because I'm exhausted and I need to pee. Good night. So the next morning we got up at like 9 and 10 a.m. and we went to the Starbucks that was right next to our hotel. I got the iced lavender oat milk latte. You know how much I love lavender. So, of course, it's an obvious pick. And we made our way to the subway station so that we could go over to UChicago. I liked the subway stations in Chicago. They looked really retro-y. So a subway ride and a bus ride later, we made our way to UChicago, and it was probably one of the nicest college campuses I've ever seen. It was super green, and the buildings were all so beautiful, it almost reminded me of Hogwarts in a way. My dad decided to rub his feet in the grass. It was so nice. Here's another shot of the buildings. You can see just how gorgeous they are, and this doesn't even cover it. During our tour, though, it started raining very heavily, but luckily the New Englanders were prepared and we had umbrellas with us. So we did our tour in the rain, and luckily UChicago had ponchos for everyone else. Even in the rain, though, this campus was absolutely gorgeous. It even almost added to the vibes of the place. UChicago was actually the only campus I was really able to film too much on, just because I didn't want to film inside of buildings or during my tours, just out of respect for the tour guides and the schools themselves. Gavin was up to his usual shenanigans, sporting his RIT honors backpack while touring Chicago schools. It was still raining pretty heavily by the end of the tour, so we went into the bookstore and I got a sweatshirt while we waited for the rain to calm down. But luckily, by the time we were done in there, the rain had calmed down enough, and it was actually such a pretty campus in the rain. So we took the subway back to our hotel and hung out there for a little bit before we went to Giordano's to get some deep dish pizza. And I got some chocolate milk as well, as you can see by my walrus tusks. Then we made our way back to the hotel to call it a night. However, Gavin and I were having a little bit of fun pointing out some of the signs that we walked by. Hey guys, look. The New England is following us. Marshalls! It's Marshalls! Mi casa es su casa. A hot ass. You want to stay at the hot ass? Day 2 of Chicago is done. It is now, I don't know what time it is actually. I have no clue what time it is. Today was great. The University of Chicago is beautiful. Has some really great food. I love Starbucks. Otherwise, I'm gonna get some shut eye again. Have a nice. I see you tomorrow to see Columbia. So we got up bright and early on Wednesday to make our way over to Columbia College Chicago. Columbia is special because it's one of the few schools that has a comedy degree, and actually our tour guide was a comedic arts major. I didn't film too much on the tour, but afterwards we got some brunch. I got some waffles, they were delicious, before we went back over to Navy Pier in order to do the architecture boat tour. I kid you not, everybody we talked to before we went to Chicago told us that we needed to do the architecture boat tour. And I don't blame them because it was so cool. It was really interesting to hear about all the buildings. However, not even that was the highlight of my day because my parents soon after surprised me with us going to go see a Second City show. My favorite branch of comedy is definitely sketch and improv, so Second City is right up my alley. So we saw the training center, and I got a hoodie. The building itself was so cool, though. There were quotes by Tina Fey and other alumni on the walls. And you know that before the show, I had to go to the box office and get a hoodie for myself. And I believe it's a glow-in-the-dark hoodie, although I don't think I've worn it in the dark enough to be able to tell whether or not it actually is glow-in-the-dark. But we were one of the first people into the theater because I was so excited to go see it. I looked at all the stuff on the walls, pointing out all of my favorite actors. And the show itself was so good, so funny. The actors did such a good job. I would totally 1000% recommend it. Today is the ending of Today is the ending of day 3 being in Chicago. I got my Second City hoodie on. And I'm starting to really like it here. In total today we went to see Columbia, we went to see the architecture tour, and we went to see the Second City. Very busy day. I am exhausted. I'll catch you all tomorrow for Northwestern, possibly the Bean and the Art Institute of Chicago. We'll see. Good night. Alright, you know I had to get another iced lavender oat milk latte from Starbucks before the subway ride over to Northwestern. However, we got there a little bit early, so Gavin and I had some fun in a Target, making fun of some products. Been gay. Gavin, how long have you been gay for?
Casey, look at me. I have been gay.
We know, Gavin. Again, I didn't film too much on Northwestern's campus. However, it was super, super cool. They had an entire beach, and I specifically decided to point out Stephen Colbert's picture. After that, we decided it was finally time to see the one, the only, the Bean. Personally, I didn't think it was too exciting. It's just a big piece of metal. However, it was really cool to see your reflection in it, and my dad decided to take some selfies in it like an old man normally does. I will say, however, it was really interesting to walk underneath and see what your reflection did in the underneath of the bean. And for anyone asking, no, I did not touch or flick the bean. I think it's disgusting. There's so many handprints on it. It's gotta be so germy. Then we went to the Art Institute of Chicago, where we couldn't film inside. However, I did make my parents pose like they were in American Gothic. I thought it was really fitting. So we made our way back to the hotel after a long day, and our feet hurt. My chest is so pink. Day 4 is in Chicago is done. Today was a brutal day, but it's okay because it's over now. We are going to go see DePaul tomorrow, and I don't know what we're gonna go do after that. I think we're gonna be spending most of the day doing tours and stuff. But we'll catch you all tomorrow. I'm gonna go shower and sleep. Actually, no, I'm gonna read like an hour of webtoon before I sleep, but I'll count that as sleep, you feel me? We spent almost the entire day doing tours at DePaul, so I didn't get the chance to get too much footage, but I got a kick out of this sign saying that birds kept flying into the theater building. After the theater tour, we got some brunch at a really cool local restaurant before we did the regular tour, and then Gavin wasn't feeling well, so he didn't join us for dinner, but I got soft pretzels and beer cheese, so it was all okay. I'm just about to wash my face, and I just realized I forgot to film my closing video. I'm already in pajamas. Today was the last day, the full day in Chicago. We saw DePaul University, and I forgot to film a lot of content today. Tomorrow we are flying back. I don't know what time. We'll figure that out later. But I'm exhausted. That's why I've stopped filming. I'm tired. So I'm gonna get some sleep. And, you know, this has been super fun. See you tomorrow for last day. So on our last day in Chicago, we cleaned up our hotel room. Then we decided to get some breakfast at a restaurant before we made our way to the airport. At the airport, I got a mocha cookie crumble frappuccino for the plane ride, but the person behind me on the plane barfed, so I feel bad for her. Luckily, it was only a 2-hour plane ride, but when we got home, we decided to get some Wendy's because we were all a little bit hungry. And did y'all know that Wendy's was using AI in their drive-thrus? I think this is absolutely absurd. I was actually enraged, but it's okay. We're all home and safe now at the end of the day. Alright, we've been back home from Chicago for a few days now. Back on New England time, which wasn't too hard since it's only an hour behind us. But we saw 4 different schools while we were out there, and honestly, I loved it. I loved being in this city. I have a feeling that one way or another I'm gonna end up there somewhere in my life. So, maybe that's college. I do have a top choice, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. That's a problem for future me after I apply, after I get accepted. And then I'll tell you where I'm going. I still have a few more to tour. I'm not committed to anything, but we'll see. Thank you all for tuning into my CHIVLOGO, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.